Okay, here we go. Um, this lunatic demagogue, our so-called president, elected by a bullshit electoral college that overrepresents low population redneck states, while losing the popular vote by, I don't know, almost 3 million vote plurality. That president, that fucking lunatic. You can't even. I mean, I'd have to update my blog, 5 times a day to try to keep up with this lunatic. But I can do a video every couple of days. So here's the deal. I wrote, I've got prompts here, so I'm going to look at the teleprompter occasionally. First off, I've been calling this guy a hateful lunatic demagogue for months, actually ever since he got elected. But now, now with most recent actions, I have to add, spiteful, petty, hateful lunatic demagogue. So I got to add spiteful and petty, because as he devolves, as his insanity becomes more apparent, not just to me and the 67% of Americans who oppose him in active resistance, not just to the civil service in complete open revolt, not just to his own cabinet, who contradict him every day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. Now, finally, to a handful of courageous Republican senators, soon more senators. Eventually, once Trump's base now shrunk to 32%, once that gets down around 30 or 20%, 25%, which it inevitably will, even gutless, opportunistic, power-hungry Paul Ryan, Speaker of the House, is going to, once he sees he's going to lose the House in 2018, he'll get off his fucking ass and impeach this cocksucking piece of shit. The Senate's already ready to convict. We just have to get the House to impeach. All right? So, I updated my blog today. It's on Google's blogspot.com. Why President Donald Trump is a clear and present danger. Today's post, The Coming Revolution, Bloodless or Bloody, Their Choice. I'm not going to try to give you the goddamn link. Just go to the site. Or even better, just Google my name and you'll find a reference to that blog, to all my stuff on LinkedIn, to all my stuff on Facebook, to all my stuff on Twitter. You're big boys and girls. You can figure it out. Okay, so that's one issue. Now, to the lunatic himself, just the most recent outrages. In the Washington Post today, it's the byline is Right Turn Opinion by Jennifer Rubin. Oh, Rubin, that sounds like a Jewish name. Oh, I guess Banyan was right. It is a conspiracy. It's the Jews, these fascist idiots. All right. Anyhow, here's a few paragraphs from the opening of her post today. On the Washington Post website. What is increasingly obvious is that President Trump's motivations and impulses have everything to do with narcissism, personal piques, anger at his predecessor, and fear of losing face, and very little to do with creating real policy outcomes. He prefers to be seen doing something rather than do something for which he would bear the consequences. We've seen this on the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals DACA program, health care, and taxes. At the behest of his anti-immigrant advisors, Attorney General Jeff Sessions and Stephen Miller, he rescinds DACA on the grounds that it's unconstitutional, but not so unconstitutional as to end right away. He sets a March deadline, then gets cold feet and promises Chuck and Nancy, Democrats in the Congress, that he'll agree to a DACA fix for more border security. Miller tries to nix the deal with ridiculous demands. Yeah, sure, we'll compromise. Just fully fund the $1.5 trillion 30-foot wall across the Mexican-American border, deport 12 million illegal immigrants already here, and adopt an illegal and unconstitutional immigration policy that only lets white Europeans immigrate to America. Okay, that was all my aside. So continuing her post, Trump gets nervous once again, and on Thursday tells Senators James Lankford, Republican of Oklahoma, a co-sponsor of a GOP bill to legalize Dreamers, that he'll extend the March deadline for ending DACA, which was supposed to be unconstitutional. Get it? It's smoke and mirrors and puffery for the base, followed by retreats. The lives of hundreds of thousands of young people are irrelevant to him. He wants a win, and he wants his base to be happy. Pretty damning stuff. Then again, she's probably a Jew, so, you anti-Semites in the base can just ignore it. Continuing, on the Affordable Care Act, he could not piece together a workable replacement that could get through Congress. So by executive order, he seeks to sow chaos, wreck the exchanges, and carry out what some have described as synthetic repeal. He will create loopholes for healthcare associations to offer cheaper, i.e., highly deductible, non-compliant insurance, and turn temporary coverage plans, also non-compliant, into substitutes for the ACA-approved plans. Now, mind you, the Affordable Care Act is the law of the land. This fucking cocksucking piece of shit, mentally disturbed, narcissistic personality disorder suffering moron is systematically trying to destroy the law of the land, which, horror, is providing health insurance to tens of millions of Americans, including many in his base in the heartland. Okay, so that's what we're up against here, people. ABC today: Donald Trump refuses to certify Iran complying with nuclear deal. Congress to reconsider sanctions. U.S. President Donald Trump has struck a blow against the 2015 Iran nuclear agreement in defiance of other world powers, choosing not to certify that Tehran is complying with the deal and warning he might ultimately terminate it. Okay, so let's get real. His own administration, everyone in his administration has told him, look, moron, they are complying with the deal. Yeah, but I don't like the deal, and I said it was the worst deal ever, and Obama signed it, so I got to kill it. This fucking lunatic, impeaching him, convicting him, and removing him from office in disgrace, all of which are going to happen sooner than he thinks. Not soon enough for me, maybe not soon enough for you, but soon enough. If we have to, we'll wait for the special counsel, Mueller, to release his proof that Trump colluded with the Russians and is guilty of many high crimes and misdemeanors, including obstruction of justice and conflicts of interest out the wazoo, probably tax fraud and a dozen other high crimes and misdemeanors. But we can wait. At any rate, removing this idiot from office in disgrace, and his lapdog, Vice President, Hoosier, ideologue, idiot, Pence. We gotta get them both out of there. Both fucking idiots. At least Pence is not insane. He's just a white evangelical Christian, religious fanatic. Okay, but that's not insanity. That's just stupid and opportunistic. So we got to get them out, but the thing is, that's not going to be enough. That's not going to be enough. We're going to have to publicly try Trump for treason in federal court. We're going to have to present the evidence, convict him beyond a shadow of a doubt, sentence him to death by firing squad, and then publicly execute him. That is the only way that we can make sure that no future would-be lunatic demagogue gets it into their sick fuck head, hey, Republicans are pretty fucking stupid. Why don't I hijack their primary process, get myself nominated, run against a feckless Democrat who doesn't have the guts to just call me out as a insane lunatic demagogue because they want to play it safe. And maybe I could, fucking get elected. I can't win the popular vote, but maybe I could, squeak in on the bullshit electoral college. Okay? We want to nip this in the bud. My Jewish friends, apologies. Never again. That's going to be the battle cry. As they're executing Trump, I'm going to be in the crowd, and my giant sign is going to say, never again, and then in brackets underneath, it's going to say, with apologies to my Jewish friends, because I'm expropriating their famous brand catchphrase, never again. It's a good phrase. It's not, you can't copyright it, so no legal jeopardy here. So here's the deal. Trump, cray-cray. Nation, planet, at risk. Remember Fire and Fury? His generals had to sit that sick fuck down and explain to Trump why we can't use nuclear weapons against North Korea. Boy, that would have been a fun thing to sit in on. Wouldn't you love to have seen the pictures they used? The PowerPoint presentation they had to give this idiot to explain why we can't use nuclear weapons. Well, you see, Mr. President, here's the problem. That 19-year-old kid in China looking at his big radar screen, whoop, whoop, whoop. As soon as I launch that missile, even if I launch it off the coast from a Trident submarine, as soon as I launch that missile at North Korea, that kid looking at that scope is going to tell the commander standing in back of him, sir, the United States just launched a ballistic missile. It's probably going for North Korea, but of course, as you know, sir, I can't know that. It could be going for Peking. And then that commander has to call, the Politburo, and then it takes him a minute or two to decide to launch all their missiles at the United States and our allies. Then, of course, in Russia, their scopes light up, and they notice that the Americans have launched a missile off of a sub, and that the Chinese are launching all their missiles, and then Putin's got to say, I'm not going to miss this party, so he launches all of his missiles, and the world ends. All right. Now, why would Trump risk that? Well, because this sick fuck, in his mind, facing certain removal from office in disgrace and likely execution for treason, in his mind, blowing up the planet and killing everyone, including himself, is a win. It's a win. Because the alternative is living to face the public humiliation. And because of his mental illness, that outcome is completely unacceptable to this sick fuck. So, unless his chief of staff, puts a bullet in the back of his head in the Oval Office, I'm not recommending he do that. But, unless he does that, or the military moves to overthrow this idiot in a military coup, first time in our history, 1960s, early 70s, anti-war hippie in the streets, screaming at the pigs. I'd be in the streets cheering the tanks as they rolled on the White House. And then as they dragged that sick fuck out in handcuffs to face a military tribunal and execution, I'd be cheering. Okay? That's the madness. That's the insanity. That's the rage that this idiot and his 32% shrinking, amazing shrinking base have engendered in the overwhelming majority of Americans. Okay? So, read the blog. There's an alternative. There's a way out of this. Okay? We vote. We just vote. 67%. They can spend all the fucking money they want. I don't care if the Suck My Cox brothers spend $1 trillion trying to buy the 2018 midterms. It doesn't matter. They only get 2 votes. They're brothers. They're 2 brothers. They get 2 votes in one state. Okay? Corporations, they can spend all the money they want. They can threaten their employees. They can do whatever the fuck they want. They can saturate the airwaves. I don't give a shit if every fucking commercial is a propaganda commercial for the Republicans. They don't vote. Corporations don't vote. People vote. All right? So we vote them out in 2018. We vote out the Republican majority. Then our Democratic House votes articles of impeachment against Trump and Pence. The Senate convicts Trump and Pence, removes them from office in disgrace. Once they see that 2018 vote, they're not gonna stand up for this guy. They're going to be trying to save their own skins. Okay, it's too late for that. They didn't learn the lesson with Nixon. They stood with him till the tapes were forced to be released, by a 7-2 majority in the Supreme Court. Oh, by the way, if any of this goes to the Supreme Court, Trump's appointee, that excellent justice, he's going to be writing the opinions that get this guy thrown out of office. Because he's not a lunatic, he's an educated guy. He's a constitutionalist. Of course, Trump never read the Constitution. Every time they tell him what's in it, he's like, "Oh, really? That's bullshit. We got to get that out of there." Well, sorry, Donald. You probably shouldn't have paid somebody to sit in your American history classes. Probably should have taken those classes yourself. See, this sick fuck. When his daddy told him as a child, "You're a winner, you're a killer," instead of telling him, "You're a sick fuck motherfucker, and I'm going to strangle you to death right now to save the planet," he encouraged that sick fuck. All right? Now, that's on daddy. That's not on us. But it's on all of the fucking hateful, fearful, willfully ignorant, flatheads, and white lash racists who elected him. It's on them. It's on them. But we're going to take care of them after we take care of Trump. So we get Trump out, we execute him, and then the cancer that Trump has brought out into the open, the legacy of the old Confederacy. Lincoln could have let his mighty army kill every last one of them and burn the entire South to the ground. He could have done that. He should have done that. But he lost his nerve. We must extend our hand of friendship to our fellow Americans. Ain't going to be any of that shit this time. So here's the deal. If these fuckers want a war, take to the streets. We'll carpet bomb any red state that secedes. We'll kill every militia, fat belly, toothless, chewing tobacco, chewing asshole with their little toy automatic guns that they've modified so that it can shoot multiple. Wait till those fuckers come up against the U.S. military. A National Guard unit versus the 101st Airborne. I want to see that fight. And so a couple of military units defect. No problem. No problem. We'll just take them out with the rest. So am I talking about killing 5 million Americans? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. But it doesn't have to be that way. We just have a plebiscite. After a Democrat is elected overwhelmingly in 2020, he or she proposes a national plebiscite 4 years later in the 2024 election. National plebiscite where we'll work out the rules, but any red state that a certain percentage, more than 50%, but some percent, say 60%, if they vote to secede, they're out. And they get maybe a 2-year transition, but immediately their congressmen and senators are out of the Congress. Immediately, they're out. And so we have an instant supermajority of Democrats in the Congress. Meanwhile, these cocksucking Republicans can all caucus, and they already have a flag, the Confederate flag, but maybe they'll make a different flag, maybe Jesus, with his hands raised. One nation under Jesus, maybe that'll be what they'll put on their money. I call it Jesus Land in my op-ed piece. Again, just Google it. But whatever they want to call it, fucked-up-a-stan, whatever that Christian theocracy is going to be called, we don't care. Call it whatever the fuck you want. Just get the fuck out of our country. Now, I'm looking at maybe, 20-25% of the country, but we don't need them. They're the low-educated, low job skills, low assets, flatheads. Let them go. Let them go. Texas, if it goes, they got oil. We trade with countries we don't like for oil. We can trade with Texas, not a problem. That's really the only populous state that could possibly secede. So we'll deal with it. The rest of them, who gives a fuck? Let them die. Let them fucking die, either in the streets or die as a third world power. As a third world country which will spiral into chaos and dissent. Not a problem. Our military will guard our borders. Any one of them that try to flee, talk about illegal aliens, yeah, those fuckers, we'll just take them out at the border. We don't need to build a wall. Fuck wall. Who needs a wall? After they're out, if it's some future date they want back in, we'll work that out. We'll consider that, but not the first couple of weeks. Let's see how many of them migrate to the new Confederacy, Jesus land. Hopefully, all of them in the blue states, minority that they are, they'll all leave, and our people that are stranded now in red states, and corporations that want to do business with the planet will flee the seceding red states, accelerating their decline into poverty. But that's all good. See, in the Old Testament, they even have Old Testament in the Christian arrogantly renamed Old Testament, which is the cryptid and redacted heavily from much more interesting Jewish sacred texts. There's a great phrase, "reap the whirlwind." And basically what it says is, if you're a fucking idiot, bad shit happens to you. So these fucking idiots who gleefully elected Trump in a racist white lash, they have reaped the whirlwind. The Republican Party, which fought Trump through the entire primary season, through the entire general election, up to the day of the election, those cocksuckers, once he got elected, as shocked as everyone, rather than calling for his immediate removal from office as unfit, they said, oh, we can work with him. We can work with him. Yeah, you fucking power-hungry pieces of shit. You got in bed with the devil. Well, that means you share the devil's fate. So we're not going to line you all up and shoot you in front of a firing squad like we're going to do to Trump. We're just going to make you irrelevant by forcing you out of our nation. And then you can be a senator or a congressman in Jesus land. And you can pass all the restrictions. You can make women be barefoot and pregnant and throw them out of the workforce. You can do whatever the fuck you get away with. We don't give a shit because it's not going to be our problem. It's not going to be our problem. Okay? So let's get them the fuck out of here after we get rid of Trump and Pence forever. Not until the next cycle, not until Americans get stupid and forget that Republicans are cocksucking pieces of shit and the lackeys of the filthy rich. Let's not do that again like we've been doing now in modern times. Let's just end this once and for all. Okay? Andrew Paul Scatino. Why Women Are So Problematic, a memoir in irreverent, whimsical polemic. Been working on that damn book off and on for what? 15 fucking years. Go to my GoFundMe page. Again, Google my name, SCHETTINO. Figure it out. Go to my GoFundMe campaign. Make a contribution so I can afford to finish and self-publish the book. SCHETTINO. Scatino. Thanks for your time. Peace out. Impeach, convict, try, convict for treason, and kill Donald Trump. Simple message, simple solution to a very, very dangerous problem. Have a great day.